And now on the line is Darragh Berry, the editor of Galway Beo. Darragh, welcome to the programme.
Thanks very much, Darren, for having me.
Alright, Darragh, I understand that Galway Beo was launched only approximately a month ago. Could you tell me, for the benefit of any of our listeners in Dublin today who don't know, what Galway Beo is?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Reach PLC, who are the company behind the Irish Daily Mirror and the Irish Daily Star, they have a load of regional websites. So they have Belfast Live, Dublin Live, Cork Beo, RSCP, and Buzz.ie. And I suppose Galway Beo is the next step of that, the next addition to that family. So we launched in mid-September, so we're not even a month old yet. We're still in our infancy. But we've really hit the ground running, and we've covered some great stories and, talked to some fantastic people. We've been getting really close to, politicians and councillors and trying to inform the people of Galway about what's going on. I suppose our kind of modus operandi is to be the beating heart of Galway, both in the city and the county, to cover news and sports and everything, lifestyle, just to be kind of breaking and exclusive and first to everything. That's why Galway Beo was set up.
Okay. I read online that Galway County Council have some initiative called Galway Beo also for the last year or two. Is this much of a cause of confusion for you?
Yeah, it actually has been at the start, especially with growing the Facebook page and the Instagram and the Twitter and stuff like that. So our handle would be Galway Beo online, and then theirs is Galway Beo. So it can get a bit confusing, but I think people are starting to get the hang of it.
Okay. Before we talk about a couple of stories that you covered this week, I believe you broke a couple of stories last month, didn't you?
Yes. So one of the big stories last week was the attempted cyber attack at NUIG. I still think they're trying to fix a few kind of little tiny bits, but they're practically back now to full steam on the internet side of things. But basically, we got wind last Thursday, I think it was, that students had been told not to come into college or not use the college internet, not to log in on the Wi-Fi. So it was something that didn't seem much at the time, but just the fact that they were being told not to log in on the Wi-Fi, we thought it might be some bit more serious. So with Reach PLC, we have this platform on our CMS that's called Live Event. So we're able to live blog something, so we can give up-to-date, or we can give updates to the reader, second by second of what's going on. So we started a live blog just saying that, students were being advised not to use the internet. And then as it transpired, a couple of hours later, we got word back from the college that there had been an attempted cyber attack, and that their IT specialists that were currently in the middle of trying to sort it all out. So I suppose that kind of highlighted how something that seems so small, can turn into something really big. And I suppose we're grateful that we have that live blog system on our platform, that we're able to, get something out really quickly and say, look, there's something going on in NUIG. We don't know much of it now at the moment, but we will update you, the minute we get anything. It's almost as good as kind of having a news bulletin, really.
And there was another story about vacant properties you covered last month, wasn't there?
Yes, so this was another kind of thing that seemed small on the outset. Someone put up a tweet of just a load of derelict buildings in Ayr Square, and there was no timeline about them. Just, I think the caption was something along the lines of, this is disgraceful, all these houses are lying derelict, and, there's several thousand students and people homeless in Galway. So we actually tracked down the person that took the photo. As it transpired, the photo was from 2013, and we were chatting to Mairead Farrell about it, TD Mairead Farrell, and she was saying that even since 2013, nothing has really changed in Galway, that things are getting progressively worse and worse. And I suppose that's been something that's been really a cause of concern for us since we set up the website. We've been chatting to loads of students and loads of people that are homeless in Galway, and the sad reality is they just can't see an end to it. They don't see any solution to it, which is it's a real eye opener, to be honest. I went to college in Galway and worked there, albeit 5 years ago, until I returned this year. And so much has changed in those 5 years between the price of rent and what's available. It's really hard to be a student now coming into the city and, having to come to a realisation that you mightn't have a place to live.
I know it's a huge issue. I was reading about it on our website, And COVID has had a huge impact on Galway as well, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I was lucky. So I was working with our sister website, Dublin Live, up until the launch of Galway Beo. So, like, I've been very lucky. Like, I was working with Dublin Live all throughout COVID. But, like, I mean, it was so sad to see Galway become almost like a ghost town. You know, I'd be a regular visit to Galway, and, you know, to walk down Shop Street and not see the buskers and not see a crowd of people coming up towards you, you know, and shopping and people at pubs and outside restaurants. And it was really eerie, like, you know, and to be honest, it was only when I visited Galway there in August when the Galway Beo team had a bit of a meet-up before we launched. And I walked down Shop Street and you could just kind of get the sense that things were coming back to normal because, you know, the buskers were back out, you know, the crowds were back in Shop Street and Eyre Square, and everyone was laughing. And, you know, because Galway is such a vibrant place that's, you know, full of art and craft and soul, when I saw that happening, I was like, okay, we're back now, you know, things are easing down, we're getting back to normal.
And I believe it's had a huge effect on the nightclubs in the city, has it, COVID?
It has. Like, I mean, at the moment, I think there's only one nightclub that's officially still open at the moment. That's DNA, that used to be Carna. Like, Carbon is gone, you know, Club K went many years ago. The Bentley that used to be there also a good few years ago is gone. Future is still kind of unknown about Electric and 4-4. So, I mean, when it comes to, like, nightlife, there's not really much choice. You know, if people want to go, say, clubbing and not go to a late bar, there's not really much choice for people anymore. So, you know, hopefully with things getting back to normal now, you know, someone might be able to reopen these nightclubs, or even, you know, bring a new nightclub to the city, or even the surrounding kind of towns and suburbs.
Okay, I looked at your website yesterday and I saw a couple of big stories covered by yourselves this week that I thought would be worth mentioning. First of all, Catherine Connolly is understandably not happy with the Minister for Health about University Hospital Galway, isn't she?
Yeah, so she hit out at the government really this week, just over a number of kind of controversies in the healthcare system, both on the ground here in Galway and on a national level. She described the situation as just something that was really dangerous. Like, you know, she said that not only are nurses in the country, you know, poorly paid and overworked and undervalued, you know, it's not even the nurses now that are complaining, it's more so them complaining on behalf of the patients that they're looking after. Like she said that there was no overall kind of plan or profile of you know, what was going to come in the future. You know, and some of the stark things she said, like, I mean, the temporary A&E that was supposed to be built until we got the actual A&E is still in the process of being built. I think it won't be built until 2022. So we had an in-depth chat with her, I think it was at the start of the week on Monday or Tuesday. And yeah, she just described the whole kind of thing as a piecemeal approach to the healthcare system in Ireland, and that, you know, that there was just no overall picture really.
And I believe some nurses in the University Hospital Galway have resigned, haven't they?
Yes, so just the pressure of all of that. I mean, I think the number is, 4 and counting of nurses in the accident and emergency area of the hospital that have just had enough and they've quit. Cool. You know, and it's sad really, because, you know, there's so many good nurses as well leaving this country every year, going over to England or going to Australia or somewhere else, where they just feel like that they're going to be treated better, paid better, you know, that there's an overall structure in place that looks after both them and their patients.
Okay, and also this week you covered what Michael Fitzmaurice CD had to say about the new National Development Plan in relation to Galway and the West and North West in general. He's not happy either, isn't he?
No, so the National Development Plan, it's a 165 billion development package, and I suppose the two main points on a Galway side of things is the ring road, which has been talked about now for the last couple of years but keeps getting kicked to touch, and this idea of 5 high-performing bus routes, so something similar to the kind of bus connects that they're hoping to get in Dublin here. But yeah, I suppose just in terms of the ring road, like, I mean, he wasn't happy. So I'd like to give your listeners and viewers an understanding of the ring road. It's this 18-kilometre road that would stretch from the M6 motorway all the way to Barna, and it would affect 44 houses. So, I mean, it keeps, as I was saying, it keeps getting kicked to touch. You know, decision deadlines keep getting pushed out. There was supposed to be a decision there at the end of October, at the start of October, end of September. That's now pushed out to the middle of November. So I suppose it's just kind of unfair on the people whose houses are at stake. They, are constantly worried. They don't know if they're going to have a house or not, if it's going to be kept or not. So he was just kind of saying that, more transparency and, clarity is needed on this, and that, decisions need to be made now, instead of it turning into something like the Metro Link in Dublin, which just keeps getting, pushed out year after year, and before you know it, it's 30 years and there's still nothing, even being started about it.
Okay, Darragh, I won't keep you much longer. We talked about Michael Fitzmaurice there a minute ago. He is a Roscommon-based TD, but his constituency covers parts of Galway. There are 2 or 3 Galway constituencies, aren't there? Could you tell our listeners a bit more about how the county is represented in the Dáil?
Yeah, so as you said, it's split into 3. So you have Galway East, Galway West, and the Roscommon Galway constituency. So yeah, as you said there, Michael Fitzmaurice, he's an independent TD, as is Dennis Nocton, and then you have Sinn Féin's Clare Curran. So that's the Roscommon Galway constituency. There's only 3 there, so not too many. Galway West then is a bit bigger, and you have the likes of Éamon O'Queeve, who's Fianna Fáil, Mairead Farrell from Sinn Féin, Noel Grealish independent, Hildegard Nocton from Fine Gael is also there, and the last town Corla, Catherine Connolly, who is also independent, she's part of the Galway West constituency. So there's 5 in that, it's a small bit bigger. And then Galway East is back down to 3 again, and you have Sean Canny, who's independent, Kieran Cannon, who's Fine Gael, and Anne Rabbit, who's Fianna Fáil. So, there's 353, there's 11 TDs there for Galway in total.
Okay. I read an article on Galway Beo last week where you mentioned the Irish language going forward with the future of the site. Could you tell our listeners a bit more about what you were talking about in general?
Absolutely. So I suppose even the title of Galway Beo, the Beo part of that is so important to us. Like Beo, our other sites are named, Belfast Live, Dublin Live, and then they started the Beo part with Cork Beo 2 years ago, and that was set up. So, I suppose there's so many Gaelic areas in Galway, and we want to tell the stories of everyone from, Invern to Mount Cross. And, obviously we're small at the moment, but the plan is to hopefully bring in, a fluent Irish-speaking journalist in the near future, so that, there would be a portion of the website that would be solely through Irish, and even if something was to break and we were doing it in English, that, in time we'd even be able to have someone there that would be able to copy that over into an Irish kind of standard form as well. Just so that when, people log onto the site, they can get a flavour of both. And even if they want to challenge their own Irish, if they're not fluent themselves, that, they can have a look at the website and see what can they remember from school and it makes sense of it. And then always, of course, can go back to the English side of things if they want. But yeah, absolutely. That's something, that, is definitely in the plans going forward. We want to make Galway Beo a website that Irish speakers can come to and see as a home, for news and sport and lifestyle. And we've been working with DúicheSheoigheach a good bit since our launch, and we've been striking up partnerships with them, and they've been very good to us in terms of giving us a bit of coverage and stuff like that. So yeah, look, we want to return the favour, and I'd say it won't be before the end of 2021, but definitely in 2022 we're hoping to bring that Irish element to the site too.
Oh, that's cool, yeah. Okay, Darragh, to come towards the end of our interview, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners in Dublin about before you go?
No, just that if everyone could have a look at the page and just see what they think about it. So our Facebook and Twitter is, as I was saying earlier, it's Galway Beo Online, and then our Instagram is just simply Galway Beo. So yeah, if everyone could have a look, and if they like what they see, if they could give us a like and a follow, we'd really appreciate that. And yeah, we're just going to continue to bring the latest and breaking and exclusive stories to Galway.